Hi, this is Ankush. So, everyone, welcome to the webinar session of NGEN Markets. So, today our topic will be revolving around mutual funds performance, and we will be comparing the mutual fund with the different kind of benchmarks, and we will also checking out the peers of that specific mutual fund as well. Other than that, we will be looking at the asset allocation of the overall mutual funds, and we will have a full analysis on their holdings as well. And next, we will having the full rolling and returns analysis with the drawdown analysis as well, with the loss percentage and how they can recover from the losses and how fast they can recover. We'll be also looking at that. And after that, we will have a question answer session with everyone. And you can unmute yourself and you can have your question answers here. So I'll just move on to the main page. And I'll directly move on and I'll show that first how you can onboard different mutual funds and you can have an analysis over here. So this is our dashboard of our platform. We'll directly move on to the fund section. So we have three different features through what you can directly onboard any mutual funds and you can have analysis as well. So starting off with this, you can first of all see you can directly check or click on any of the filter categories icon. So for that, you need to click on this filter categories icon and you can select any specific category of fund you want to choose.
Your screen is not visible.
Is it visible?
Yeah, now it is fine.
Okay, sure. So I'll just start off with once again. So you can check out this is our dashboard when we'll open our platform and we'll move on to the fund section once again. And from here, now you can check out that we have different options to choose a specific mutual fund category as well. So when we click on this filter categories icon, we can choose a specific category of fund that you want to have analysis on as well. So now if you choose any specific like a mid-cap fund, I'm choosing on an example basis. So now all the mid-cap fund will be appearing in front of us. And you can click on any of them to have analysis as well. Other than that, you can come to the compare section and you can directly load any kind of fund to have analysis on them. So like if you want to have analysis on any specific fund like an Axis Blue Chip fund, you can directly type in and you can choose the fund like from the direct or a regular one and you can click on them and the fund will be loaded over here. And lastly, we have another option to the search fund option. So if you want to have analysis of any specific mutual fund, so for that, what you can directly do is you can directly type in any specific fund's name. So like if you want to have a look for the SBI Blue Chip Fund, so you can directly choose from here. And you can open this and you can have a full analysis of the specific fund that we have opened over here. So these are the three ways that you can directly onboard and you can choose any specific parameters and you can directly give some of the filters as well. So now while choosing a specific category or from a specific category, if you want to choose on a basis of the filters, what you can do, you can directly give some of the filters, like you can directly give a minimum AUM that you have on a criteria list, and you can directly click on apply. So whenever you'll be doing that, so you can see that the funds have been already sorted out on the basis of that specific AUM. So after that, what you can do, again, you can give a minimum specific age that you have on your criteria list. So like if you want to give a 3 years age, you can directly click on that and you can again click on apply. And lastly, if you want to give any specific returns for the last 3 years, so you can also do that thing. You can give your percentage that you have on your mind and you can click on apply once again to have a full analysis on that. The funds that are meeting your criteria will be only appearing in front of us. So now you can check them out under different parameters and you can see how they've been performing in different times. Starting off with this different kind of cap exposures, the holdings, you can also check out the different kind of risk parameters. So since this is a purely equity fund, what you can directly do is we have given some of the preset columns as well. So you can directly click on this option and you can choose the one that you want to directly check. So if you only want to check out the return columns, you can directly click on this return columns option and you can check out all the returns of the funds that is present over there. So now starting with the NAV, AUM, the MTD, YTD and everything, you can have an analysis on them as well. And other than that, what you can also do is you can click on any of the fund to have an analysis on them as well. So like if you want to look into Nippon India Growth Fund, so for that, what you need to do is you just need to click on this specific fund and another tab will be opening for that fund to have a full analysis on them. So now when we are having an analysis of a specific fund, you can check out that we have this fund performance tab over here. And the start date of this specific fund is from 11th April 2011. What you can do now from here is you can directly change the start date if you want to have analysis for any specific time frame. So just need to click on this change option. And from here, what you can do, you can directly click on the 5 years ago or 3 years ago option to have an analysis of that specific time. So you can see now the start date has been changed to 30th October 2018. And from that day till today, you can check out the analysis of the funds and how it has performed with a specific benchmark. So now if you see the benchmark that it has captured on a default way, that is the Nifty Midcap 150. Since we have taken a specific midcap fund, it has automatically taken the benchmark from this section of MS. So if you want to choose any specific benchmark, you can obviously go ahead and you can change the benchmark as well to have analysis on. Other than that, you can also create a various kind of custom benchmarking. So like if you want to add a Nifty 50 or a Nifty 100, you can directly come to the custom option and click on manage custom indices to create your own benchmark to compare it with. So you can click on the specific indices, you can add the indices, and what you can do, you can directly give the percentage allocation to them as well. So now when we give a percentage allocation, what you can see, the indices has been created over here for a specific mid cap. So I can directly give a mid cap option and you can directly click on save custom index. So once it's done, you can directly compare it with this specific indices as well. So now I'll come back to this section over here, and now we can see how the fund of this specific Nippon India Growth Fund has performed in comparison with the benchmark. So if you can see that the actual NAVs hasn't been clicked or ticked on. So since that is the reason it has started from a specific point, and it will be showing you in a comparison with that fund, how it has gone up with the benchmark over here. So now if you want to check on the basis of the actual NAVs, you just need to turn this on. And over here now you can check out how they have been performing from the starting date of the specific start date that we have chosen. And on the basis of that, what is the return it has generated? That will be also available over here. So in comparison with that, so over here, what you can do is you can directly compare with the benchmark, and you can have an analysis that what is the differentiation between these two. Is it the fund that you have chosen? Is it performing better than the benchmark or not? That you will be able to analyze from here directly. So first of all, we have given this option called the MTD, YTD, the 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years option over here. So over here, you can check out like how the asset, that is the fund that we have taken into consideration, is performing on this specific various time frame in comparison with the benchmark that we have taken as well. So starting off with this, you can check out what is the cumulative return that the fund has generated in comparison with the benchmark. So over here, you can see that the asset that we have taken has generated 172.02% of returns, whereas the benchmark has given you only around 147.42% of returns. So through this, you can have analysis and you can understand for this last 5 years, you have generated a total cumulative excessive return over the benchmark that is 24.60%. So if you subtract 147.42 from 172.02%, you can have analysis like what is the cumulative excessive returns that it has generated over the benchmark that we have taken into consideration. Other than that, you can also check out like what is the CAGR that it has generated. So like if you want to compare it and you want to see in comparison with the benchmark, what is the CAGR on an annual return basis it has generated, that will be also available over here. Followed by that, we have the annual volatility option through which you can analyze and you can check out the standard deviation. So like we directly provide the annual volatility and we consider it as the standard deviation, you can hover around your mouse and it will be provided over here as well. So now what you can see is on the basis of this annual volatility, how the fund has performed in comparison with the benchmark as well. And if you go ahead and you can check the Sharpe ratio as well. So in this section, what you will be able to check out is what is the risk adjusted return that is this generating to you. So over here, when you check the Sharpe ratio, you can see on a basis of this, with a low volatility, your fund has been giving you a better return. Whereas if you see the annual volatility of the benchmark that we have taken into consideration, over here, the volatility or the standard deviation of that specific benchmark is much higher than the fund's volatility. And on comparison with the fund over here, you can see that the benchmark has generated a lower return as well. So on the basis of that, there is a high difference between the Sharpe ratio among the asset and the benchmark over here. So next, again, you can move ahead and you can have a look on the historical value at risk and the implied value at risk. So this is the risk adjusted thing where you can directly check out how your portfolio will go down if you are investing in this specific portfolio with a 5% chance. So this means it is showing you there is a 95% interval with a 5% chance that the portfolio, if you're investing in this specific thing, on this specific fund, it will be performing or it will be going down up to negative 25.60 in comparison with the benchmark. So if you change this thing to 99, what it will show you is it will be showing you the 1% chance if you have been investing in this specific fund for the last 1 year, so how much it can go down up to, that will be provided to you. And in comparison with the benchmark, you can show or you can tell your clients that how better the fund's performance is, or it is also having a low negative return, or it will be generating a low negative return in comparison with the benchmark as well. Like this way also, you can have a downside risk adjusted returns percentage as well. And other than that, you can have a full analysis versus the benchmark that we have taken. So first of all, you can check out the annual excessive return, the cumulative excessive return over the benchmark, and how it has generated over that. You can also check out the annual excessive return over the compounded and the simple returns as well. You can now come down to the up capture and the down capture ratio. So when you are seeing a performance of a specific benchmark and you want to check them out on a basis of a month-on-month basis, how the fund has performed in comparison with the benchmark in the bull run or during the bear run as well. So if you check out the up capture ratio, it is during the bull run. You can click on this icon and you can check out like what is the return it is generating when the benchmark has given us a positive returns. So if you are suggesting an aggressive fund to a client, and if it is not able to beat, or if it's not able to go up above 100%, that means it is giving you a good return. But in comparison with the benchmark, it is not up to that mark, and it is not providing you with the returns that the benchmark has provided to you on a month-on-month basis. But if you check and go ahead with the down capture ratio, you can again click on this I button. When there was a bear run, you can click on this I button and you can check out when the benchmark was going down, your fund that you have taken has gone a bit lower than the benchmark over here on a month-on-month basis. So like this way also, you can check out the up capture and the down capture ratio with the specific benchmark over here. Next, we will move on to the monthly chart and the yearly chart as well. So over here now you can see that the statistic that we have given on the monthly chart basis and the yearly statistics that is we have given over here, you can analyze them like from the starting date that we have chose, that is 30th October 2018. Since then, we have a total number of months that is 62. And in between that 62 months, around 43 months, we had an up movement and 19 months were during the down movement. So you can see what is the average, what is the volatility it has generated. You can also check out the return it has given, like what is the total best performance it has generated. And when that happened, that also you can check them out. So it was during November 2020. If you move your mouse or you can hover around this specific cursors and you can check them and you can have analysis like during when that happened. As well as that, you can also look into the worst performance of the overall fund in during different time frames. So if you see there was a month that it generated around negative 32.39% of returns. And when that happened, that also you will be able to check it out from here directly. And that was during March 2020, during the COVID time frame. And with that, you can also analyze with the yearly chart, like on a yearly basis, what is the return that the fund has generated to you. That will be also available over here with their average volatility, the best and the worst that they have generated. So this is how you can directly analyze a fund in comparison with a benchmark. Next, we will move on to the asset allocation, where you can directly check out all the holdings of the fund that we have taken into consideration. So you can see that the holdings are all around totally 96 funds, 96 holdings that the fund is having. And if you want to check them on a detailed view as well, you can click on this icon and you can see the equity is around 98.14%. And the rest of them are around reverse repo or Indian mutual funds or others. And what you can do is you can directly download these specific things. Just you need to click on this icon and all the holdings will be downloaded in an Excel format. So I'll just show you in the Excel format how the holdings will be looking like. Is my screen visible, right? Oh, so over here, what you can do, you can check out the latest holdings with the asset class. You can check out the securities, the IC numbers, the categories, and the different kind of ratings and the market cap with the percentage as well. So now when you come back to this section where we were checking out the Nippon India Growth Fund's performance. So now you can check out, first of all, the holdings with their percentage allocation and the diversification in their cap exposures as well. And the next part that we'll move on is the position changes by month. So now when we click on this position changes by month, this will allow you to check on a month-on-month basis, like what are the changes that they are having in their holdings as well. So if you see on the basis of the last 30th September 2023, the changes that ever had between their funds is over here. So the largest increases will be presented you in this side, the top 10 largest increases that will be provided over here. and the top 10 largest decreases will be provided on this side, in this red color. And if there is any kind of position that has been added or has been removed from this overall fund, will be also presented during the different time frames. So for the last 12 months, what you can do is you can go ahead and you can have an analysis for different time frame and on different month-on-month basis, what is the changes they had, that will be also available over here. Followed by that, you can also go ahead and you can check the positions over time. So in this position over time, what you can actually check out is what are the changes that it is having on their holdings on a month-on-month basis for all the stocks that you have in your in the fund, the holdings of the overall fund. So you can come down and you can check out the different kind of diversification, like on a month-on-month basis, the funds and had the changes in between the stocks, and what is the changes they are having for the last 1 year. You will be checking out over here. So if you go ahead and if you see the trips, so when it started for the last year, 31st October, it had a 4.81% of allocation in the overall fund. But it has gone up and down during the last 1 year. And today it is having around 1.98% of holding till 30th September 2023. So this will help you to check out the decrease and the increase in the change or the changes of the overall allocation in the overall funds holdings. So you can check them out by the securities, like that will be showing you the different kind of stocks with their sectors. And if you only want to check them out on the basis of the sectors, you can click on the sectoral wise by sector option, and you can see what are the changes they are having on a sector wise basis for the last one. You can also download this specific table into an Excel format, and you can have analysis on Excel as well. And followed by that, you can also check out the concentration. So over here, this will be allowing you to check only the basis of the equity that it is present in the overall portfolio. So if you come on this overview option, you can see that the equity has been considered as around 98.14% only. So now if you come to this concentration, so on the basis of this 98.14%, what is the diversification it is having around mid cap, small cap, or large cap with the others will be available over here. And you can check out like what is the diversification they are having as well. Followed by the equity sectors. In this sector exposure, this will be helping you to find it out. Like what is the current holdings or what is the total overall exposure on a sectoral basis this fund is having. And you can also check out like what are the exposure it is giving you from different sectors. So like if you want to have an analysis on the FMCG group, like for this 3.51%, what are the stocks that is present within the fund? So what you can do actually, you can directly click on this option and you can check out what are the stocks that are holded for FMCG sector. You can click on any other sectors as well, like the finance sector, or you can click on IT, and you can see what are the stocks that are holded with that specific sectoral wise. And lastly, you can check out with the debt parts, if there is any kind of debt, what kind of debt that is present in the overall fund will be also available over here. So this is how you can directly check all the allocation and the holdings of the overall fund that we have, or the mutual fund that we have taken into consideration. And followed by that, we'll move on to the peers option, where you can directly check out for this specific fund's performance in comparison with any kind of classification average. So like over here, you can see the Nippon India Growth Fund has been comparing with the mid-cap fund only, and their SEBI classification, what is the average that it has generated. So you can see that the fund has been showing you on the top of this, and you can compare between all of them. So there's another option how we can also check the or the peers, and you can compare them as well. So what you need to do is you just remove all of them from this specific compare tab. And over here, we have an option called adding a SEBI category. So now if you want to add a specific category of fund, that also you will be able to do. So over here, you just need to click as a mid-cap fund, and all the mid-cap funds will be appearing over here. And now you can compare and you can check them out in consideration with that specific category, how it has been performing with their average as well. So you can directly upload the historical category average of a specific category, or if you want to add indices to compare it with, so that can be also done from here directly. So now when we click on this age option, so we can directly remove some of the funds that have a very low age. So we can directly click on this button, and we can have the analysis on them as well. So now if you click on historical average, so you can directly add a mid-cap funds category average to compare it with all the other funds that we have taken into consideration. So over here, we can see the mid-cap funds equity has been added, and you can compare them with them as well. And as we go back to this peers section, you can again come back over here, and you can check out on the basis of that only, if you want to see only specific funds allocation and on the analysis of a specific fund. Over here also, you can check out the peers analysis. where you can see all the different kind of classification with the CAGR, the MTD, YTD. So over here, if you consider that which fund has given you the best CAGR till date, you can directly click on the CAGR option and it will be sorted out over here. So this is the fund, and the highest has been given by Union Midcap Fund in this specific category. So like this way, you can have the peer analysis of the fund and for that specific category of SEBI classification as well. Other than that, you can check out the rolling analysis. Over here, you can have the full rolling analysis of the overall fund that we have taken into consideration. So now what you can do is you can see that we have given 3 different time frames over here. So first of all, we have 260, 520, and followed by 780. So what are these 260, 520, and 780? That is considered as the working days of an overall year. So we consider 260 as a 1 year time frame. So we can obviously change the time frame as well if you want to have an analysis on them. So you can see on a basis of this 260 days and 520 days and 70 days, what is the average this fund has generated? So first of all, you can see this is a 20.19% followed by 50 and followed by 76.65. So this is the absolute return that it is showing it to you over here. And you can click on this analyze method. And over here now, what you can check out is you can see all the different kind of analysis that is present over here. So with the average, you can see on as the days has been going ahead, the average has been grown a better. And the volatility has decreased to much lower than what it was having for the 260 days rolling analysis. And you can also check out for this highest and lowest, like what is the changes that or the returns it has generated on a basis of a 260 days, the 520 days, and 780 days as well. You can obviously change the time frame also. So if you want to have analysis for a specific 5 years rolling analysis, so obviously what you need to do is first of all, you just change the date to inception of that specific fund, and you can directly have analysis for the last 5 years or a 5 years rolling analysis as well. So just come to this rolling analysis and you can see that there's a change in this, and you can obviously change this time frame as well. So if you want to have a rolling analysis for a 5 years time frame, you can directly give the date and you can give the number of days and you can click on run. So now you can have a 5 years rolling analysis as well in this specific section, and you can show it to clients. The longer they stay invested in the pool or fund, the better the returns that will be generating to them. Other than that, you can also check out the rolling return distribution. So if you want to see in any specific range how the fund has performed or how much return it has generated in between that specific range, that will be also available over here. So for that, what you need to do, you just give your own specific parameters. Like if you want to check out between 0 to 20%, what is the total return it is generating? So that can be also done from here. You just need to give the percentage and you can check it out. Like what is the total return between that specific range as well. Like this way, you can give your own range and you can have an analysis like what is the distribution the fund has been generating. That will be also available over here. And lastly, you can check out what are the rolling volatility analysis, like what is the average of volatility it is having on a 265-20 and on a 5 years basis as well. So if you want to change this, you can directly come over here and you can change this date and you can have analysis over here as well for that specific time frame. So this is the rolling analysis where you can check them out on the basis of the average and how they've been performing on a continuous manner. Followed by that, we have the drawdowns tab. We can come to the drawdowns tab directly over here and you can have an analysis on them, like how fast the loss happens or how many days it normally takes to recover from that specific loss. That can be also seen over here. So if you check out for this specific fund, you can see that there was a loss of around 35.38% that happened on 20th February 2020. And the starting price of that specific fund during that time frame was around 1,242.92. And the loss ended on 3rd April 2020, when the ending price was around 803.17. So now, if you come to this chart format, you can have a look into this specific thing, and you can drag them up and you can have a look, like what is the thing that happened and how the loss came down. So you can check it out in this manner, and you can click on the reset zoom option. And after that, you can check them. Like after 160 days of the loss that has been ended, it took 160 days to recover from that loss as well. So the thing that was around 1,242.92 was the price. It changed to 803. And again, it came back to that specific position after 160 days. So like this way also, you can have analysis for different time frame for the different set of losses. Surely, sir. Once it is the session is over, we'll come back to this thing once again. So over here, you can check it out, like the different kind of recovery and everything, the recovery date and how many days it normally takes to recover from the losses. And this will help you to understand the strength of the fund that you will be suggesting it to the client and how fast it can recover from losses as well. And next, we will move on to the last part of this specific analysis, that is the scenario analysis, from where you can directly have a different kind of analysis in different time frame. Like starting from the inbuilt scenarios, you can check them out. You can see during 2014 election or that the inbuilt scenarios that we have created, and on the basis of that, you can have analysis as well. So if you see on the during that time frame, that was 1st April to 30th May 2014, what was the excessive return over the benchmark? So over here, if you see that the fund couldn't beat the benchmark during that time frame, as the fund has generated only 20.06% of return, whereas the benchmark has generated around 20.43% of return. But if you consider the volatility, your fund had a lower volatility than the benchmark as well. So what you can do, you can change the time frame, you can change the scenarios, you can see in different time frame how the fund has performed in comparison with the benchmark that we have taken. And you can also create your own custom scenario. So like if you want to see, you can come to this fund's performance, and over here you can see that the overall performance of this specific fund is around 26.34, where the benchmark has given you 23.83%. So what you can actually do is you can come to the scenarios option and you can create your own scenario. So like it may be the starting date of this specific year. Let's go to January, and we can choose the start date of January until today. What is the percentage of return it has generated? That can be also check out from here directly. So we'll just choose the previous day and we can save this custom scenario. As a name will be given, I'll just give it as a YTD. And over here now, what you can actually do is you can check out during post-COVID or pre-COVID or during the YTD that we have done. That is the return that it is generating on the basis of that. So you can check out the volatility, the benchmarks, percentage of returns, and the fund's return as well. And you can see what is the excessive return over the benchmark that it has generated with their correlation as well. How correlated they are with each other, that can be also seen from here directly. So this is the way how you can directly do the full scenario analysis of a specific fund, as well as you can also see in different time frames how it has performed with the benchmark. Followed by that, lastly, we have the beta that will be showing you the relationship with the benchmark that we have taken into consideration. And over here, what you can do is you can check out the beta and the correlation. And you can also do one thing, that we have given a specific start date and end date filtration option over here as well. So if you want to choose on the basis of that, you want to see for the last 2 years, what is the correlation or the beta that the fund is having. So that can be also done from here directly. You can choose the start date and end date, and you can directly click on this option and you can run on the basis of that. So you can see that beta and the correlation has been changed during that time frame. And you can also take a screenshot out of this, or you can directly take a screenshot out of this from here as well. This is the way how we can have a full analysis of a specific mutual fund. And once the analysis has been done, what you can do, you can generate different kind of reports out of that as well. So we have given 3 different kind of PDF reports and 1 PowerPoint report as well. How you can directly download, you can click on this specific PDF option. You can give a password protected PDF report to your client as well. And you can also create a watermark in your PDF report. So for that, you just need to click on this specific icon and you can click on this create PDF option. Once you have clicked on that, so a PDF will be generated like this way. And you can open this PDF where your company name and logo will be provided. So starting off with that, you can check out the growth funds, the benchmark that has been used over here. You can check out the NAV till date and the exit load details as well. After that, you can check out the different kind of details of that specific fund with the IC, the asset classes, what the AMP code and different kind of fund managers and the risk meter as well. You can see the asset allocation with your own watermark that will be provided over here. You can check out the holdings, like what are the top holdings that the fund is having. With that, you can also check them out for the equity market cap exposures, the equity sector exposures. After that, you can check out like what is the performance chart. In the chart format, you can see how that is performed in comparison with the benchmark that we have taken. And you can also see what is the cumulative return difference, the CAGR difference with the annual simple return, the volatility, and followed by that, the Sortino and the annual value at risk. And after that, you can also check out the different kind of statistics for the monthly chart, the yearly chart, and their statistics as well. And followed by with the performance versus the classification peers and the drawdowns over time as well with the rolling returns lastly. So this is how you can directly generate a PDF report out of this specific fund. And lastly, we are given a specific disclaimer as well, so that you can directly share it with your clients as well. And one more thing that you can also generate is you can directly generate a PowerPoint report out of this. You just need to click on this icon and you can directly generate a PowerPoint report where you can directly present it with your client as well. And if you want to make any kind of changes in a PowerPoint report, so that can be also done directly. So for that, what we have given is, I'll just show you the PowerPoint report once. And over here, we have given an option called the enable editing option. So if you want to make any kind of changes before presenting it to the clients, you can directly make your own changes. You can change any of them where it will be showing the fund's name, the NAV and the AUM, the fund manager, who is creating the report and when it has been created. That can be also checked out from here. So starting off with this, you can check out like what is the holdings percentage, the sectors, the type of percentage, and the different kind of overall asset allocation, followed by the different kind of concentration and the equity market cap exposure of the fund. You can also check out like what are the different kind of equity sector exposures, the debt exposures, that can be also checked out from here. And after that, you can see what are the asset allocation from different kind of sectors. And lastly, followed by the historical performance, you can check out lastly the rolling rate analysis and the drawdowns as well. So this is how you can directly have analysis for a specific mutual fund, and you can directly share it with your clients as well. So this is all from my side. So if you have any kind of queries, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself or you can type in the chat box and we'll try to resolve your question as
Hi, Ankush.
well. Hi, sir.
Ankush, this you have shown for a particular fund. Say if we need to present to some of the fund of a particular category to the customer, can we
Yeah.
analyze 3 or 4 funds out of this, or maybe one broader picture of all the funds, and then analysis on 4 or 5? It will be presented in the same fashion, or it will be a segregated sort of thing.
Hi, this is Arunab. The best
Hi,
thing to
Arunab.
do in the best thing to do in this case is to use the compare section, which also gives you an option to download a PowerPoint. So as you can see, Ankush has quite a lot of funds in here. So you could have 4, 5, you could have 20 or 30 if you want. And then you can actually print a comparison report from here, which is also a PowerPoint report. So it's slightly different from the individual fund analysis PPT, but it also has quite a lot of information. So Ankush, let's just print that, yeah.
Okay. We can take this report as a reference report and post that whatever the recommendations are from our side, we can have analysis of 4 or 5 funds that can be into same PPT, I would say.
Yes, and I think this is the one. So this is a comparison report, and if you want to change the name from comparison report to something else, you can change it. It's very easy to edit this document.
Yeah, that I know. That I have
Yeah.
done also.
Yeah. So here, then you can for a PowerPoint you can have maximum up to 20, because otherwise it doesn't fit on the page properly.
Got you.
But other than this, yeah, all the information is there. This is all a standard kind of quantitative analysis on funds. So there is no recommendation in this document at all.
Okay, this can be treated as a primary report, and post that we can have a analysis on 4 or 5 funds, which can be shared with the client as a recommendation.
Absolutely, because it's not a recommendation, because nowhere in this document is either you or I saying that one fund is better than the other. We are just posting the numbers as they are.
Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely
Yeah.
right. Thank you so much.
No problem. There is a question on the chat saying, is there any way to show an option where we can say what date our client started their investment, and in case they withdrew, and if in case they had withdrawn in the middle. So we don't, there's a way that you can probably do it where you analyze 2 portfolios side by side, one with the investment and one without. But generally speaking, what we want, you can print theoretical reports where you have a portfolio of, let's say, 5 funds, and another theoretical report where you have a portfolio of 4 funds where you remove one, and you show them the effect of adding that fund. Maybe the effect is positive, maybe it's negative. So that is definitely possible. We don't, however, look at transactions of your clients and then report on the profit and loss of those transactions. But you can do this by comparing a couple of portfolios side by side, which is possible. Ankush, just go to the compare portfolio section. So yeah, so here you can put 2 portfolios side by side. One could have the funds maybe you're suggesting, and the other is, maybe what they didn't do or did. And you can show the difference that way. And of course, for the date, you can select the start date here. It's customizable. There's another question saying, asking if to compare different funds on position changes by month. I don't believe we show a table in this way where you can see position changes by month. It would become quite a lot of data because obviously each fund has a lot of holdings. Every single fund will have a lot of holdings, and they could be very different from the holdings of the other fund. What I can recommend, I mean, it depends on your purpose. If your purpose is to compare 3 or 4 funds, then that will probably not work. But the holdings analysis section in the fund section is the holding analysis tab in the fund section is something we highly recommend you look into. It's quite a unique feature, and it really gives you a complete idea of what is happening in the mutual fund markets, especially in terms of how funds are moving in and out of stocks over the past 12 months. So, but this is more of an overview of basically all equity funds or all debt funds. But currently we don't show any comparison side by side of position changes by month. I think primarily because it would become too much data. As you can see, even when you look at position changes by month for one fund, it's quite a lot of data on one table. So, however, having said that, we'll try to think of maybe some way of incorporating this in the compare securities tab, where maybe we can give top line numbers in terms of large cap, small cap, etc. For each of the funds in the compare list.
Sir, we had a question called, can you explain the rolling again? So should I open the rolling analysis once again?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so we're talking about rolling analysis for single securities, or okay. Yeah, so basically what you see here is basically one any return series. You can do it on a fund or a stock or a portfolio, but what it really shows you is any typical window. We are showing you 3 windows here, and by window it means just a period of time. So if you look at the easiest way to understand this is, Ankush, if you click on the chart legend and turn off the the 520 and the bigger one, yeah, and leave the smallest one there, 260. Okay, so we're just looking at one window now. So 260 means 260 working days. So every single point on this chart is showing you the return over the previous 260 days. So Ankush, if you hover on any point on the chart, so that's on this day, the previous 260-day return is shown here. And as you move along the chart, it will, the number will change based on what the previous 260 days have done. So in this way, what you're seeing is a rolling time series of 260-day returns over time. So this gives you a good idea of 260-day, which is 1 year, good idea of 1 year performance, how it changes, how high can it go, how low has it gone, how volatile it is. So this gives you a very good idea of consistency. So rolling analysis is very important because it gives you a great idea of consistency. And of course, let's say your client's investment horizon is 1 year, then in that case, this is a very, very good chart to show. And below this, you can then see further analysis on this chart. And here you can see kind of what, what sort of returns actually came into various different return ranges. So you can show that as well. Okay, there's another question saying how to find your 1-year risk and return analysis. So there are various different places that you can do it. For example, if you're looking at a fund, Ankush, let's just go back to that single fund we were looking at. So for a single fund, you can go to change start date and just do 1 year ago. So that's one easy way if you're looking for one single fund. And in the performance tab, you can see risk and return stats right on the side. That's one way. The other way is you go to the compare section if you want to do this for many securities in one go. And you add some funds, and then you can go to the risk return tab. Here you can choose a period and set it to, let's say, 1 year. And once you do that, you'll get a graphical output of risk versus return. This is literally return versus standard deviation. So in this way, you can have a kind of a graphical output of this. Any other questions? Please let us know.
We have a question called the difference between the actual and the annualized returns. Can you just mention the question once again?
Is it on the performance tab? We can go to the performance tab. If the question is about these numbers here, we can just go through them. There's about 4 or 5 of them. So cumulative return is straightforward. So that's basically start of this analysis, the start date on the top there. From
Okay,
there
so
to now.
it's from rolling analysis actually. Rolling analysis.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let's go back to, I think it's a compare tab, or yeah. So when you're running rolling analysis, we actually give you a few options here. So the first option, which is methodology. So this basically says that, let's say your rolling period is, let's say it's 100 days. Now, if it's 100 days, when you want to look at the returns for 100-day periods, how do you want to see them? Do you want to see them as a return achieved over 100 days, or you want to see them annualized? Same thing applies for a longer period. If you use 500 days, which is almost 2 years, do you want to see the returns as what return was achieved over 2 years, or do you want to annualize them? So obviously they'll be reduced to show you an annual figure. So that's what this drop down is about. And the same it applies everywhere where you see rolling analysis. Any other questions? Please do let us know.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi, please go ahead.
Yeah, Lokesh here.
Yeah.
Can't we have multiple logins for the same account?
Yes, you can have multiple logins for the same organization. That is a feature we have. So there are some clients who have many employees. So basically they have they have a separate login for each employee. There are certain benefits of doing that. One of the benefits is that you can share information across these logins within your organization only. So compare lists. For example, this list, if you save it, other people in your organization will be able to see it. You can create portfolios, and you will be able to share portfolios with other people in your organization, other logins in your organizations. And also, if you have any kind of client data connected, either through RTA or through some other integration, that data is available to everyone as well.
May I know what is the process for that? We have a login for NGEN,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we can't log in at the same time, multiple logins.
Sure. Ankush, you can please get in touch separately to discuss with them what they need.
Skype for additional logins in that case.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Ankush can guide.
Great.
Ankush can guide, or Anirudh can take it up and discuss about the additional login pricing and.
Surely, I'll note it down, sir.
Okay, it isn't included in the premium package, right? We have to pay extra for that.
Yes, of course. Each and every login is additional cost plus. Yeah.
Okay.
There is another question saying that inception date is 1999. Why is there a difference? So sometimes you will see a difference based on the benchmark you have chosen. So, if so, in this case, Ankush, let's go to the performance tab. Let's see what benchmark is loaded. So it's using Nifty 50 mid cap 150. So in NGEN, whichever fund you look at, we give our users the ability to change the benchmark as per what they think the benchmark should be, rather than what the fund manager is saying. So as a result, the entire analysis runs from the start date, that is the minimum start date that you can get for the fund and the benchmark. So in this case, if the benchmark doesn't have data going all the way to 1999, the analysis will only start from the date that the benchmark begins. If you want this to run longer, you have to change the benchmark to something else. So Nifty midcap 150 TRI data only starts from there. So for example, if you change the benchmark to Nifty 50, for example, and then let it load, and then change the start date to well, you can already see it's gone back to 1996. Any other questions? Please let us know.
So can we compile multiple cache files and also the PMS data to get an overall portfolio of a client?
I mean, that should be possible. One way that you could do it is you can upload any cache file which has mutual funds, stocks, etc., in the statement analyzer, and then from there, once it's uploaded and saved here, you can go to the client section. In the client section, you go to the manual data tab, and in the manual data tab, you add them as a client, right? Once you've done that, you do a few more reports, for example, or you can add some more manual clients as well. So you have, let's say, client 1, client 2, client 3. You can run these 3 clients together as one portfolio by using the load multiple clients option. So here, once you click on that, you can basically select any multiple portfolios from here. You can just call it something. Please remember, it doesn't save this. It's a on the fly run. So you can run these 3 portfolios together. You see that happening there. And then you can run analytics on various different portfolios. So you can load different parts of the portfolio through different statements. And you can even input a few of them manually if you want, and then combine them in this way and run them.
But this is just for the cache. How can we compile it with PMS files?
Sure. So what
PMS
you would do
portfolio
is,
type sheet.
here what you would do it in the manual data section, you'll just create a new client, and you'd have to add the stock holdings, ideally in rupees, you'd have to add the stock holdings as a new portfolio and then run it together with the mutual fund holdings. So when you go to add new client here, you can just add client manually, and you can just input the stocks here, and then run it together along with the mutual fund portfolio.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'll just.
No problem. Any other questions? Please let us know. Okay, if there's nothing else, Ankush, we can close for today.
Okay, sure. Thank you everyone for joining this webinar session. Please stay tuned, and until that, we will post you the video in the YouTube by the next Wednesday or Thursday. Till then, thank you so much everyone for joining.